with the Ron and Fez show. Thanks for being with us for the fastest hour, and we will be here till 11 o'clock tonight on WJFK and Live 105.7. Janet Jackson says Justin Timberlake seems to have changed and gotten cockier. She also said between Justin and Usher would win hands down, and she wonders if Justin can handle success.
Wow. Miss Jackson is nasty.
What I like about this foreign press interview is she prefaces it all by saying, now, you know I love Justin. You know I love him, and I'm a huge fan.
But he stinks.
So has Justin really changed, or is someone still sore over the Super Bowl?
You know, to me, I always thought that he ran for the hills after the Super Bowl, that she took all the heat for it, and that they were both in it together.
He could have stood by her, you know, physically as well as literally. And I have the feeling, though, that Janet Jackson is kind of a sensitive person. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't return a phone call right away or something, she gets real upset about it.
Where do you get these feelings from that you sit around wondering what Janet Jackson's personality is like?
It's just a feel I have for people, Ronnie. She's a sensitive girl, and I have the feeling that if you say something the wrong way to her, she really, really takes it to heart.
Do you ever find it odd that none of these gut feelings that you have ever come through, and it's just you rambling?
I think about that, but then I always think, don't give up, Fez. Keep trying. One of these days, these gut feelings are going to pay off.
All right, more Madonna out there, Fezzy. She's telling all of her fans every concert that she does, make sure they go see Fahrenheit 9/11. Fahrenheit 9/11. She's screaming it from the rooftops.
Well, I'm going to go now that Esther gave it 2 thumbs up.
You know who else is all over this is Howard Stern. And he actually said, hey, I'm thinking about when I go on vacation having Michael Moore do the show instead of playing best ofs. And he's saying he's going to go out and do gigs for Michael Moore.
Wants to make sure that anti-Bush message gets out there.
Do you think it's an anti-Bush message? I still haven't seen it yet. I'm sure that it is. But everybody just already assumes it before the movie has really been, well, I guess a lot of reviews came in from Cannes.
Yeah, well, I look at it, and it's like, wow, I would have loved to have seen this footage on the news. Because, you know, it's not just Michael Moore standing there saying, here's what happened and here's what I think happened. The stuff that freaks me out the most is the actual footage that he puts in this thing.
There's also another documentary right out now called Control Room. That is kind of the Al Jazeera kind of documentary, and where they get their news from, and why their news is so different from American news.
I would like to see that, because when Al Jazeera gets like an Al-Qaeda tape, I've always wondered why, you know, like the person that drops off the tape, you know, the courier signs for it or whatever, why we don't follow that guy or get, you know, whoever sent it, like let's say it's FedEx or whatever, why we don't get that shipping information where it came from?
Because they're the news from a different country. You know, like, we kind of, I don't know whether we really want to be in the business of chasing down news sources and attacking them.
Well, I'm not even saying so much the news people, but that tape is physically getting there somehow. Someone dropped that off to the news people.
So you're saying we should stake out the foreign press?
We should stake that out and see where those tapes are coming from.
What about the BBC? Should we be staking them out, too, watching for everything that they get?
If something's coming in from terrorists, yeah. Now, Ben Affleck won California's state poker championship.
Why wouldn't he, Fez? He's the man. He's the man, Big Ben Affleck.
This seems like the one place where he's himself anymore, where he feels good and comfortable.
Another one of your feelings that you have?
Yeah, gut feeling.
Yeah, it's like doing the show with Gene Dixon. The guy's been gambling for a long time. He seems to be pretty damn good at it.
And this isn't one of those celebrity things, right? This is where everybody gets to enter.
This is the real deal. I know he's got his eye on the World Series of Poker, and I'd like to see him get it for himself. Because I like celebrity poker, but they're not good enough. And I like to watch like the real poker players, but they're not funny enough. And if somehow we could just get entertaining people to play really good poker, my TV would be fine.
He's going to end up getting one of those bracelets like Gabe Kaplan has. He'll be our next Welcome Back Cotter out there. And he'll be showing off that bracelet.
Yeah, Gabe Kaplan is the only celebrity that I know of that has won the World Series of Poker. And now I believe he's retired. Like maybe there's an age limit on poker, and you can't do it anymore. And they just bring him out to either host or wave to everybody. And I'm going, why don't you just get back in? It's not like you don't have the legs anymore or, your knees went out on you. It's a poker table.
If I was able to get one of those bracelets, one of those wins, I would just walk away. I would never want to play another game again.
It's not the bracelet they're after, Fez. It's the purse. There's a lot of money that comes along with that. You could buy a bracelet for all the cash that these guys get coming in. But with everybody playing poker now across the country, Gabe Kaplan could have a second career going out and just playing in these tournaments because he doesn't have a second career with his comedy. Nobody wants to hear uncle jokes in 2004.
It's nice that Ben Affleck has something to fall back on now.
Well, he doesn't have an acting career to fall back on. That's the problem.
The new Tom Hanks movie, The Terminal, was a distant second to Dodgeball this weekend. This after Lady Killers bombed at the box office as well.
Well, nobody expected Lady Killers to do well because that was an independent film. But when you got Tom Hanks making a film with, the most successful director of all time, that Hollywood was banking on the fact that they were going to bring in a lot of cash.
The Terminal, with the first previews that I saw, I was interested in seeing this. I go, well, that looks interesting. Then I saw the other previews where he talked, and it seemed like such a ridiculous fake accent that there was no way I could go see this.
Why is Tom Hanks always stranded somewhere? I don't understand. He's stranded on an island. He's stranded at the airport.
He's not the fish out of water. He's like the water with no fish.
You notice that Tom Hanks doesn't play Tom Hanks anymore, too? He's suddenly crazy accent man, and the Lady Killers he was, and this he is. It's like, I'm so sick of being Tom Hanks. I'll be anybody but me.
This is his range, Ronnie. He's showing us his range.
Yeah, he really is. Hello, everyone. I'm crazy, man. First of all, nobody talks like that. Second of all, we're not going to... This is based on a true story. Some crazy nut person lives at the Paris airport. So they've taken that story, and the guy doesn't have to be there. He just is. And they've taken that story and they put it here in LaGuardia. America is not going to let a guy live in the airport, let alone a foreigner, and not leave an airport. It makes no sense at all. Take him to Bellevue. The movie would be over in like 3 minutes if I was directing this, because it would just go, okay, ship him off to Bellevue. And then the credits would come up, and then a real movie would start that people would act in, and it would be actually entertaining.
I love this film, all 3 minutes of it.
Yeah, well, it's a short. Fezzy, I'm trying to win that Oscar short that they give out every... You know what bugs me about that Oscar short? They get to talk as long as anyone else. If you only direct a 15-minute movie, you should say thanks or maybe just wave from the seat, and that should be it. Nothing else. You don't get to walk up there like you're Meryl Streep.
Yeah, the speech should never be longer than your film.
We're going to take a break here. Fastest hour in radio with Ron and Fez.